Hi, I'm Chef Cosmo Meens. We're here at Cook Culture, and we're gonna do one of my favorite things, which is a Thai red curry, where we make the paste, and then we make it into a curry with mussels. Okay, so we're gonna make a red curry with mussels. And the first step we gotta do is make the curry paste. When I first started making curry paste, there was 3 reasons. Okay, I wanted to make it not as spicy, okay, so make it acceptable to the North American palate. The other thing is I wanted to make it without shrimp paste. My first restaurant, a lot of vegans and vegetarians, so I wanted to be able to make it vegan. And the third thing is I just wanted to use all fresh ingredients. So I wanted it to be fresh, vegan or vegetarian, and not as spicy. Okay, so those are the 3 reasons I started making my own curry paste from scratch, probably about 15 years ago. So we are gonna actually add shrimp paste to this one, but we're gonna use all these fresh ingredients, have a look around, and we're gonna put all those in our beautiful Vitamix blender and blend them into a beautiful, creamy paste. Now originally they would have used a mortar and pestle to make curry paste from scratch, and funny enough, I remember when I lived in Thailand, the older Thai women, their dominant arm had huge biceps. And I always thought, wow, those ladies are really ripped, but only on one side. And it's probably because they were mortar and pestling everything from the crispy fish salad to the green papaya salad to the curry paste to, you know, the crushing the actual fish into a paste for making fish balls. The mortar and pestle was the food processor. We are lucky enough to have the Vitamix blender, okay? So let's get some of this stuff in there. We're gonna start out with a little bit of coconut oil. And that's gonna help the blending process. When it warms up, we'll stick that right at the bottom so it gets warm quickly. It also helps with a bit of preservation, and then also gives some beautiful fat that rises to the top when we cook it. Okay, so next we're gonna put in some cut up galangal, some chopped up lemongrass, some shallots, chopped up cilantro. Usually I just use the stems. Okay, so we'll just put that in there. And then normally there'd be this much chilies in this. That's too hot for most of us. So what we're gonna use is a red pepper. It's gonna give us the flavor of pepper without so much heat. So we're gonna put in red pepper. We're gonna put in some chopped and de-seeded chilies. Some garlic. Some toasted coriander, toasted cumin, and some paprika. We also have dried chilies that have been de-seeded and soaked, and we're going to add those with the soaking liquid as well. And we have our kaffir or mackroot lime leaf, which I'm just going to pull the stalk out of, and we'll add those to the mix. And then we're going to blend this all up. Let's get a little bit of shrimp paste going on in here too. Get that coconut oil off of there. Just a bit of shrimp paste for a little funk. And then we'll put our top on, and we want to use our plunger to really help work all this paste down towards the blade and get a good blend going. So we'll start off on one. And we'll use our tamper to tamp it all down. And we're just warming up that coconut oil in the bottom. Once it warms, it's going to help us blend. And we tamp everything down into place. And then we can turn this up a little. Start working towards our vortex. Sometimes I add water to the blending process to make it faster and easier, but then you just have to cook that out too, so the oil makes it a little bit better. Work that all down towards the blade. And get that vortex going there. There we go. And that's what we want there. So now that we had that beautiful vortex really creaming up all those fibrous, lemongrass stalks and galingale root and lime leaves and all that stuff into a nice fine creamy paste. And when we take the lid off and we see the beautiful color of that, and we'll just get a nice strong whiff of that. And now what we're going to do is set up all our ingredients to make this into a coconut curry. Okay, so we've made our curry paste. We're going to turn this into a beautiful Thai red coconut curry with mussels. I'm going to start by using some toasted shallot oil, which could just be anything, grapeseed oil or peanut oil. But I happen to have this left over from my Vietnamese class, and I love it. Sneaks a little extra toasty flavor. So we're going to turn our wok on high. We're going to add a bit of toasted shallot oil. And we're just going to sear off our curry paste and just toast it up a bit. Okay, I can already smell that shallot oil coming through. I'm going to put my curry paste in. We're going to get this nice and hot and sear it off. Okay, and this is just activating all those flavors, bringing them all together, mixing them in the fat with the heat, and then that's going to carry through the whole body of sauce. Okay, so now we're going to add our coconut milk. And we're going to bring that up to a boil while throwing in a few things. We're going to put a puck of palm sugar in there. That's going to dissolve and blend. We're going to add some fish sauce. And you can add baby corns, Thai eggplant, bamboo shoots. Today we're going to add some shimeji mushrooms. Okay, so we're going to put those in there. Let those stew together. We're going to take some lime leaves and just put some whole lime leaves in there to stew up a bit. We already have some in the curry paste, but we're going to put some fresh ones right in the curry as well. If you want, once the curry is boiled and reduced down a little bit, you can give it a taste. If it's not spicy enough, add some fresh chilies right into it. Now, a lot of curry recipes call for some coconut milk, some coconut cream. I generally use whole coconut milk, and then sometimes I want it a little thinner like a soup. Other times I want it thicker like a real thick curry. But what it does is it allows me to stew it down to whatever consistency that I like. And then also what I'll do is I'll make a bunch of curry paste, put in the coconut milk, make the sauce, and then have that be thin and reserve it. And then split it into maybe 3, freeze some of it, and have different protein and vegetables in possibly 3 different ways, rather than cooking it all together and then freezing it the same style and degrading the vegetables or the protein that are in it. So we're going to have a look at this. We've got that beautiful color in there. This is already smelling so good. Okay, I'm gonna wait before I put any more chilies in. I'll take this little last couple shreds of galangal, and we'll put some of that in there too. Just a few little shreds of fresh stuff right in. And then we're going to bring this up to a boil, reduce it down a bit, add our mussels. Let's just tell you a little note about mussels. So mussels, if they're open a bit, you want to give them a pinch, and then they're going to close up. If they don't close up, they're dead, and you should discard them. Now, when you cook them, if they don't open, then you discard them. Okay? So that's a good rule to know about mussels. If you pinch them and they don't close, they're dead, and you don't know when they died, okay? If you got them all and checked them and they were all closed and then maybe one died, well, it's probably fine to eat, but I like to err on the side of caution with shellfish. Get the beautiful texture of this as it comes to a rolling boil. I got a really good feeling about this one. You know, sometimes people think, you know, why would you say that about this one, right? And they think that just because you're a chef and you've done this before, or maybe you've done this 100 times, they think you just know and it's going to be the same and there's no joie de vivre, there's no joy in it. But actually, every single time that I'm making something, I don't know what the chilies were like, you know, from that soil at that time of year with that amount of sun and that amount of water. I don't know what any particular mussel or galangal or different thing or the batch of coconut milk, all these things are variable. So every time I make something, it's like I want to show up empty and ready to experience what this particular dish has to offer today, and not just expect that it's always going to be the same. And there's no fun in that anyways, actually, if we just think we're, you know, the professional that always knows exactly what's going to happen. So at home, I encourage you to play like that too. Don't just think you've got something dialed and expect it's going to turn out the same every time. Be ready to accept how it turns out and then play and tweak from there. All right, our red curry has reduced down so beautifully. I'm going to put in some Thai basil leaves. I'm just going to tear those up and add those right into the mix. I'm going to give it one final taste test before the mussels go in. And we're just going to check how it sits on the spoon. It's nice and thick the way it rolls off the spoon. Wow. It's perfect. Okay, it's got a decent amount of heat. At this point, you could kick it up with some more chilies. It's sweet and spicy and delicious. Okay, so we're going to take just a few mussels. We're going to add those in. You can see how they're nice and closed, right? We want to make sure they're closed. And then we want to watch for them to open once they cook in the curry. So we'll turn the heat up on that a little bit. So now you can see how the mussels are getting cooked in there and they're opening up. Come and say hello. That's what we want to see. And we want to just cook them to the point where they open up wide, and then we're going to pull them out. Okay, so now I'm going to get in, I'm going to fish out my beautifully cooked mussels. Get them all out of there before they overcook. Okay, and then we're going to place them in. You would serve these with jasmine rice if you like. Okay, I'm just gonna set them all up on here. And then I'm gonna ladle this beautiful curry over top of them. You can see how that curry just rolls over them into the bowl, and that is looking gorgeous. I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna top this. It wasn't such a spicy one, so it gives room for a little bit of chili on top. I'm gonna put some Thai basil there. I'm gonna garnish with some fresh chili and a little tuft of cilantro. So there is our Thai red curry with mussels. Boom. Love that. Love this dish. Okay, enjoy. Happy cooking.